So that brings us to Monday, and I know Quote just wants me to do a Midland. I picked up a Midland 98 and then realised we'd done one recently. Anyway, we could do not M for Midland, but M for Maxon. And it's a Commtron CB40F. We may not even be able to do it because it was given to me by Eddie, who lives not a million miles from Corby, during the summer. And it says here, Commtron 40F, no channel display, no speaker audio, no TX, no meter light, RX the meter's jammed, and no switching between TX and RX. Well, that sounds fun, doesn't it? So the first thing I need to do is to make up a power lead. I can no longer get these unless I spend something like 1,200 quid with workmen in the United States. And so we bought all the little crimp tools and things from Japan, may I add. I think these were 40 quid each, because we can actually get the mouldings in the UK from RS. So it isn't a super cheap way of making up power leads. And it was certainly cheaper buying them in from our wholesalers when they did them. Now, I'll probably have to take the speaker off. Yep. Well, at least these are honest to goodness sets, aren't they? So the Maxcom for you, Midland 2001, 3001, 4001 Precision Series, the Maxcom 6E, 16E, Rattle's Brain, did I say Cobra 21 XFM? Yeah, Nentone. There you go, quite a few. So they did get moaned at at the time because they did suffer from desense. And desense is where you have a local good buddy next door but one who's transmitting on a nearby channel, and you don't get bleed over, but it knocks the sensitivity of your receive down because it's it's so close, and the filtering on these left a little to be desired, but certainly nothing like as bad as those sets like the great GT868 series. But these are very reliable, and they usually do 4 watts, and they have a real meter, and a real meter that reads real power. So I just needed to finish off my little power plug. I've not had to do one of these before, and I didn't know which one was positive and which one was negative. So that's the moulding. So now I've put the pins in, so we'll pop those. Did I get an insertion tool for these? I don't expect I did for a minute. This will be fun. Okay, so they're in. So we've got a fuse holder, just as we should do. We can put the power supply on, and we can switch it on, and as he says, there's no meter lamp. I better pause the video and do a mic. Alright, I've done the power lead, but I haven't done a mic, and of course it's 5-pinned in. And wait a minute, what's a 5-pinned in mic on the bench? I wonder what that does. Must go somewhere. This could be a Maxcom wired mic. So first thing we're going to check is, does the radio work in PA mode? Wallow. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2, and the answer is no, it doesn't work in PA mode. Right, we'd better dig out the circuit diagram and have a look as to what happens on these. So if we look at the circuit diagram, so mic audio hot is pin 1. So pin 1 comes into the printed circuit board at point 14, and it goes into the LM324, which is a quad operational amplifier. So there's 2 legs are used for the mic preamplification. You've got another leg there used, perhaps you only use 3 out of the 4 in this product. So that needs a power supply. So for PA to work, that has to work. Now the audio IC on most CB radios is powered up all the time, and the audio IC is there. So that gets full rail voltage of 12 volts. But in order for public address to work, apart from the switching factor, it does have to get its audio from this microphone preamp. Now, the receive rail is 8 volts provided by a 7808 1 amp regulator. So pin 1 you'll expect rail voltage, which will be 13.8, 2 is chassis, 3 is the output. So if we locate that, we'll probably find that it is not working. We'll probably also find that we haven't got one in stock. And we might have to rob one off a scrap chassis. They are something we normally carry, but with the building work going on here, there's 78 boxes, each 18 litre size, of very useful boxes full of stuff in store. So we only have a skeleton of what we normally have here. Right, so we'll get the meter on the job. The radio's still on. I'll just check whether this is a floating chassis or whether it's negative earth, because I can never remember. So if we just touch that on the protection diode, we've got rail voltage there. So the chip in question is there. Now I could easily get to the pins from the other side, but I'll try and do it from this side just for our demonstration purposes. So we've got 13.8 on the first pin, and we've got nothing on the output. So either there's a short circuit and it's shutting down, and I highly doubt that, right, so we'll go back into record and we'll now see what happens. So I'll switch the radio back on. I found one on a scrap Midland 2001. I could have ordered one and it would have been brand new here tomorrow, but then we wouldn't have got a radio done tomorrow. It's going to need cram one in a day. So check, we've got the 13.8 volt rail there. There we go. And have we got 8? There we go, 7.89. So this radio should now do a bit more. So will it work in PA? And the answer is no. Okay, well, just for the test, we'll connect it up to the test equipment. I can see the VCO is being fiddled with on this. So I'm going to put a big signal on the signal generator, and the radio is in fact receiving very quietly. I have an S reading, so we're on S9, and I can vary that depending on the signal. So the radio is receiving. I need to unplug the speaker to go into transmit, which is not unusual. Okay. So we're not getting a TX light coming up. How strange. Start looking for snapped off wires. You just don't know what the history is behind the radio. So putting my finger on the audio IC, I can get a hum. So if the audio IC was duff, I wouldn't get that. So that's another positive thing, because I think they're a KIA 7205 and they've been impossible to get for years. So it's like the TI 7205, but it's a narrower package, and to cram that in, you've got to start carving up the radio. Well, better look at that circuit diagram. So if the mic's pin 1, the PTT is pin 2. So in CB mode, it goes to a switching transistor Q105. Okay, so going back into record, I started to doubt the mic because it was on the bench, and I found that although it was a new mic, the earth was off inside. So I've no doubt the 3-year-old who assembled it in some foreign country, it must have been their first day. So we now have public address. So if we switch to normal mode and put, well, I won't move the speaker across. That's interesting, we still don't have transmit. We still have low audio. Oh, of course we haven't got the speaker in the right socket. We still have low audio. And it's not the amplifier. So it makes you wonder whether somebody has rewired the mic socket, but it doesn't look like that. Anyway, I'll pause the video and let's see if I can find something else. Okay, so we've got to the bottom of it. It turned out to be a dirty PA switch. So more straightforward than you could imagine. I just turned it on and off about 20 times and the job's a good one, as they say. Don't think I can really spray switch cleaner into it. It's a bit of a sealed entity. On these radios, it's the squelch which goes down to PA and then back to normal. So we've got receive there. So far all we've changed is that voltage regulator. Right, let's see what power it's doing. I've checked it on channel 1 and 40, so I'm happy the VCO is actually set. I haven't got my notes with me today, so we're going to have to find our way through this very popular chassis. So we're on the 3 watt scale, so full scale deflection. Oh, it does more than that. So we'll go over to 30 watt range, and 5 watts is there, so 4 watts is there. It's doing 3.5 watts. There shouldn't be any reason why we can't get 4 out of this radio. So we're on, making sure we're on channel 20. I will just check that, and I think we'll check it's on frequency first because we don't know the history of the radio. Wrong camera as usual. So where are we? That's it. So it should be 2779125, 27055. So it's dropped with age, which is to be expected, and hopefully we can bring it up with the trimmer capacitor, which is the red one down there. I don't need to tell you it's red because there's only one. It's not out of spec, even though it's off it's very slight off frequency, but it's not so far out as to be out of spec. So we'll just pull that up. 2779125, because it can affect the tuning. So there we go. We'll just pop back on that camera back to the power meter. There we go. So we'll start with the first coil there. So we've got 3.5 watts, 3.65. Is that receive, that one? No. It's about 3.8, 3.9. About 3.99. Change tools. Spot on the 4 at that. They've got wax in it they've been fiddled with. They've got wax in them they've been fiddled with. So that's fine. We've done that. It's on frequency. Let's see what that meter's reading. Not that we can see anything because the meter bulb's out. So we're getting nothing on the RF power meter. We've got no LED working either. So, have we got a dirty preset? Is that low power? So we should be 400 milliwatts. I think this is low power if it is adjustable. There we are, 400 milliwatts. So we're going to have deviation and squelch somewhere. Squelch is going to be that one, I would guess. get the oscillator and just sort the deviation out. Wallow. It's a bit low at 1.8 at the moment, so we'll just do that. Can't remember whether it's that preset or that preset. It's that one. I got it right in one. Wallow. It still wants a bit more. Wallow. That's it. 2.2, absolute maximum 2.5. So presumably that is the RF meter. We did see it work. We'll just go back to receive. Yeah, it is the meter is working. It's a bit sticky. But it's not working on transmit. Well, we'll go through the receiver and we'll worry about that later on. I know Mr. Chippy's wanted to do an on-the-air test, and I might have to do this demonstration as a chassis without the meter working. But now I can tell by experience that the detector is way out. It sounds almost like a Fidelity 1000. So we'll just move the camera onto the oscilloscope, which is the left-hand oscilloscope. Oh, that was the left-hand oscilloscope. So we're looking for maximum recovered audio, and it's the coil just down here. Yeah. There we go. And whilst we've got S9 on the test set, see if we can do that meter. Do you know, it's bang on S9, but if I recall, it's the preset on the meter. Wow, that was spot on. So that's done. So we're listening to 1 microvolt, which isn't brilliant. Let's get the cyanide meter on the camera. So I've got about 4 dB, so it's easy for me to tune. So we did gain a little fraction there. Didn't gain anything there. Gained a fraction there. Wow, that was miles out. You remember this has been given to me as a scrap set, so we don't know what's happened to it in the past. I'll just run through some of these again, because they can be interactive. We'll just do that IF. Just need a bit better signal for doing the IF. Right, I'm satisfied we've got that set up nicely. Now these I don't think have got the most brilliant sensitivity in the world, so let's see what we can. I don't think we've done a set from with this Maxon chassis since we've been doing the cyanide readings. So it's Commtron CB40F. So we do 20 dB, 12 dB, and we'll do the cheating 10 dB, which I think is the one actually quoted for these radios. Right, let's see if we can actually get 20. We can. It's 1 microvolt. I'll tell you what. We'll go up a scale. It's 1.1 to be fair. 1.1 microvolt. So now we'll do the other ones. So 12. Not getting it on that scale. It's about there. It's not too scary. It's 0. That's 1. It's actually 0.39. So it's fair enough. And then on the other scale, right at the top, it's one of those we're between two scales here. It's about there. Yeah, it's spot on 0.3. So on the 1 microvolt scale we go down to 0.2 and then we start on the 0.3 scale. So if I put it to the 0.3 scale, it's right at the top end. So there's that little bit of discrepancy. But yeah, that's all right. Better than I remember anyway. So we need to do the meter lamp, and we need to find out why we've got no meter on TX. I'll just give that preset a spray, just in case it's as simple as that. Look, I'll just do the squelch then. No. Right, back down to the squelch. So I'll move the meter now. So I move the camera onto the test equipment attenuator controls. Between the tap. So at the moment we're at 0.3 of a microvolt. So I'm going to turn the signal generator off and we'll set the squelch to threshold. Signal generator on, and it's coming in already. So give you it's 0.2 going out and it's 0.3 of a microvolt coming in, so it's great. So we'll go to full squelch now. I'd like that to be 100 microvolts, equivalent to S9. So that's 1 microvolt, 3 microvolts, 10 microvolts, 30 microvolts, 100 microvolts. Now I want it to be in at that. So we'll adjust the squelch preset till it comes in. Yes, that's coming in at the right point now. So now we'll go back and check the minimum. So turn the signal generator off, set the threshold, signal generator on, and it's now coming in at 0.3 and leaving it 0.22. So the sensitivity is still fine, and now it's coarse enough to reject up to S9. So that's set. So we've just got that pesky meter snag, so might have to do the on the air test without that working. and don't know why the LED isn't working. But so you don't know what's happened to radios especially when you've been given them a scrap. Now I'm going to give Eddie his due. Do you remember the list? So channel display OK, no audio, done it. Done TX, not done the meter light. The meter is, yes, it's a bit sticky. Nothing to do with the mic, because we haven't got the mic with it. It's switching OK, and the regulator, he was absolutely right. The 78808 regulator was knackered, as they say. So I'll just pop the front off this, and we'll see whether it's something stupid. I mean, it could be as simple as the actual LED being faulty, or it could even be that it's been, somebody's pushed it in or waggled it around and broken it. So I'll just pause the video and we'll see if we can fix that. Right, well, we've put it back together, so we've got it done, and the transmit lights work. Sorry, yeah, it is. I'll just plug it into the aerial. Yes, I did the meter lamp, and we've done the TX light, which turned out to be just the LED, 3mm LED gone knackered. So I don't know what that was about, and we've sorted out the TX meter as well. So that's got to the bottom of all those little things. So we'll have a flick round, put it on the aerial. One niner, Roger. Yeah, right. Meter's got a tendency to stick, but I wasn't going to dismantle the meter. Good. Well, that's another resurrection. So let's we'll call it a day, and we're doing on the air test with Mr. Chippy. So thank you for watching the Maxon built Commtron CB40F from 1981.